In 1997, we got the first Fallout. You're the Vault Dweller from Vault 13, and your water purification chip just broke, which is basically a death sentence in the wasteland. The game throws you into Southern California in 2161 with a ticking clock of 150 days to save your Vault buddies from dying of thirst. You've got turn-based combat that actually makes you think, an isometric view that shows off every Raidroach and Raider, and the legendary special system that lets you build everything from a smooth-talking diplomat to a trigger-happy psychopath. Your quest starts simple but escalates when you discover the Master, a grotesque villain planning to turn everyone into super mutants because apparently regular humans just aren't cutting it. The game hands you companions like Dogmeat the German Shepherd and Ian, the trigger-happy human, plus legendary weapons like the Turbo Plasma Rifle and Power Armor that makes you a literal walking tank. Every choice matters, from nuking settlements to negotiating peace, and the multiple endings actually reflect what you did instead of just pretending to care. This wasn't just a game, it was the birth of modern choice-driven RPGs that still influence developers today. War never changes, but the setting sure does as we go to Fallout 2 in 1998. You play as the Chosen One, grandchild of the original Vault Dweller, trying to save the village of Arroyo from environmental collapse. This time you're hunting for a Garden of Eden creation kit, which sounds like something from a home improvement show, but is actually humanity's last hope. The world expanded massively with locations like New Reno, a crime-ridden casino town that feels like Vegas had a baby with Mad Max, and NCR, showing civilization actually trying to rebuild. Your real enemy is the Enclave, pre-war government remnants who think wastelanders are genetic trash and plan genocide via airborne virus. The game introduced companion management where you could actually tell your buddies how to fight instead of watching them charge plasma rifles with pool cues. You get insane weapons like the Alien Blaster and Gauss Rifle, plus the Mach 2 power armor that makes you nearly invincible. The writing turned up the dark humor and cultural references, with things like Monty Python jokes and Star Trek nods hidden in the wasteland. Fallout 2 proved sequels could be bigger and better while keeping the soul intact, but it was only up from here. In 2001, we got Fallout Tactics, Brotherhood of Steel. You're the warrior leading a Brotherhood squad through the Midwest, establishing their dominance one tactical mission at a time. This isn't your typical Fallout experience since you're commanding entire squads instead of lone wolfing through the wasteland with maybe a dog and a sarcastic ghoul. The game features both real-time and turn-based combat modes, letting you switch between styles depending on whether you want to think strategically or just blow stuff up quickly. Your enemies range from super mutants to robots to a rogue AI that thinks humans are the problem, which honestly isn't entirely wrong. Squad management becomes crucial as you customize each member's skills, equipment, and combat roles while dealing with permadeath. You can recruit from various backgrounds, including raiders, ghouls, and mutants, creating the most diverse Brotherhood unit in series history. The missions vary from rescue operations to full assault scenarios, each requiring different tactical approaches and equipment loadouts. Tactics proved Fallout's combat system was strong enough to carry an entire game focused purely on squad-based warfare. It also showed the Brotherhood's expansion eastward, setting up lore that would show up in future games. But this wasn't the only Brotherhood of Steel we'd get. In 2004, we got Fallout, Brotherhood of Steel. This PlayStation 2 and Xbox exclusive ditched RPG mechanics for a simple hack-and-slash adventure through the Texas wasteland. You pick from Brotherhood initiates Cyrus, Nadia, or unlockable Kane, each with distinct abilities and dialogue that tries really hard to be edgy and cool. The story follows your pursuit of a kidnapped elder while fighting the super mutant Addis. Combat focuses on melee weapons like sledgehammers and fist weapons, rather than the series' trademark guns and energy weapons, because apparently, the Brotherhood forgot how to use ranged combat. The game features local co-op multiplayer and FMV cutscenes that feel ripped from a mid-2000s action movie, complete with rock soundtrack and dramatic camera angles. Boss fights punctuate the linear progression through hostile environments filled with mutants, raiders, and environmental hazards. The power armor and energy weapons are still here, but they feel more like power-ups in a beat-em-up than the iconic gear from previous games. This game is widely considered the black sheep of the franchise, though it did introduce some lore elements that survive, but the next one was so much better. In 2008, we got Fallout 3. You're the lone wanderer from Vault 101, raised underground until your scientist father disappears and forces you into the capital wasteland that used to be Washington, D.C. The world shifted from isometric to full 3D first-person perspective, letting you explore iconic landmarks like the Washington Monument and White House turned into irradiated ruins. VATS replace turn-based combat with a hybrid system that lets you pause time and target specific body parts in gloriously violent slow motion. Your father's Project Purity aims to clean the Potomac River, but the Enclave returns to ruin everyone's day with their usual kill all mutants agenda. Companions like Dogmeat, Fox the friendly super mutant, and Sharon the ghoul bodyguard join your journey with full voice acting and personal questlines. The game introduced environmental storytelling, plus the Fat Man launcher that fires actual mini-nukes because why not? This game proved Fallout could evolve beyond its original format, and it was up from here. Like in 2010, when we got Fallout New Vegas. You're the courier, shot in the head and left for dead over a platinum poker chip, which is honestly the most Vegas way to start an adventure. The game drops you into the Mojave Wasteland where the new California Republic, Caesar's Legion, and mysterious Mr. House fight for control of Hoover Dam in New Vegas. Unlike previous games, this conflict has no clear good or evil sides, just different flavors of morally gray factions with compelling arguments for their vision of the future. Your choices actually matter through a reputation system that tracks how every faction views you, from idolized hero to being a kill-on-sight enemy. The writing features complex dialogue trees that let you talk your way out of most situations if you build your character right, including convincing the final boss to commit suicide through pure speech skill. Companions like Boone, the NCR sniper, and Veronica the Brotherhood scribe have deeply personal storylines that interweave with the main plot. Hardcore mode adds survival mechanics like hunger, thirst, and sleep. Plus, ammunition has weight and stimpaks heal over time instead of instantly. New Vegas is often considered the pinnacle of Fallout storytelling, proving that player choice and consequence could create genuinely different experiences. But the next game was way more of a classic. In 2015, we got Fallout Shelter. Fallout Shelter is a free-to-play management sim that became an unexpected phenomenon that proved Fallout worked beyond traditional RPGs. You're the overseer managing every aspect of Vault life, from power generation to dweller happiness to defending against rage roach infestations. The game uses a side-view cross-section perspective that shows all your vault levels simultaneously, letting you watch dwellers work, eat, reproduce, and occasionally panic during disasters. Dwellers can venture into the wasteland to scavenge for supplies and experience, with better equipment and higher stats improving their survival chances. The game features legendary dwellers from across the series, special weapons like the Merv and Junk Jet, and themed outfits ranging from power armor to pajamas. Random events keep you engaged with everything from fires to raider attacks, while the quest system added later provides structured missions to specific locations. Fallout Shelter proved the franchise's appeal extended far beyond hardcore RPG fans and worked perfectly on mobile platforms. But it wasn't the only good game we got that year. Fallout 4. Bethesda decided to give players the full pre-war to post-war experience, starting you as a suburban parent in 2077, before fast-forwarding through 200 years of cryogenic sleep. You're the sole survivor searching for your kidnapped son Sean in the Commonwealth, which used to be Boston and somehow looks worse than the real thing. The game introduces full voice acting for the protagonist and a streamlined dialogue system that sparked more debates than actual nuclear war. Settlement building lets you construct entire communities from scratch, managing resources, defenses, and trade routes between your various outposts scattered across the wasteland. The story revolves around four major factions: the Institute creating synthetic humans, the Brotherhood of Steel hunting technology, the Railroad freeing synths, and the Minutemen trying to help everyone get along. Power armor gets a complete overhaul, becoming modular suits that require fusion cores and can be customized with different paint jobs and modifications. Weapons and armor crafting expands dramatically, letting you turn a basic pipe pistol into a legendary killing machine with the right materials and perks. Companions like Nick Valentine, the synth detective, and Piper, the investigative reporter, provide ongoing commentary and personal quests that flesh out the world. Fallout 4 streamlined many systems while adding unprecedented customization options, though it divided fans on whether simplification helped or hurt the experience. In 2016, we got Fallout Pinball. The result was 3 themed tables that somehow made flippers and bumpers feel authentically post-apocalyptic, with Fallout 4 getting their own unique pinball interpretations. The tables feature actual missions like launching nukes, defeating Deathclaws, and managing vault resources, all through traditional pinball mechanics. Interactive elements bring the wasteland to life with moving parts, lighting effects, and sound clips from the original games, creating an immersive experience. Vault Boy appears throughout the tables as both decoration and functional element, while iconic weapons and items serve as targets and bonuses. The scoring system incorporates Fallout-style progression with perks, achievements, and faction allegiances affecting your point multipliers. Fallout Pinball proved the franchise's themes and aesthetics could work in literally any gaming format. It introduced Fallout to pinball enthusiasts while giving series fans a unique way to experience familiar content. But we were about to get one of the most generational games ever. In 2018, we got Fallout 76. The result was the most controversial entry in the series, launching as a multiplayer survival game set in West Virginia's Appalachian wasteland. You're a Vault 76 dweller emerging into the earliest post-war timeline, just 25 years after the bombs fell, which explains why everything looks relatively intact compared to other games. The world is beautiful and diverse, featuring 6 distinct regions from the toxic cranberry bog to the snowy savage divide, each with unique creatures and environmental challenges. At launch, all human characters were real players, with the story told through holotapes, notes, and environmental storytelling as you follow the Overseer's journey across Appalachia. The CAMP system lets you build portable bases anywhere in the world, creating a more flexible settlement system than Fallout 4's fixed locations. New creatures like Scorch Beasts, giant mutant bats that are basically dragons, serve as endgame bosses requiring multiple players to defeat. The game uses a card-based perk system instead of traditional skill trees, letting you swap builds on the fly and specialize for different activities. Fallout 76 initially struggled with technical issues and design choices that alienated series fans, but extensive updates added NPCs, questlines, and traditional Fallout storytelling. It showed both the potential and pitfalls of multiplayer Fallout while eventually finding its audience among players who wanted to explore the wasteland with friends. The next game was the most insane one ever, Fallout Shelter Online in 2019. Chinese developers Gaia Mobile took the original Fallout Shelter formula and asked, "What if we made this but with gacha mechanics and competitive PvP?" This Asia-exclusive mobile game expanded Vault management into a full multiplayer experience with RPG combat elements. The game combines the base building of the original Shelter with squad-based combat featuring collectible heroes from across the Fallout universe. Players manage their vaults while battling through story campaigns, participating in guild activities, and competing in PvP tournaments for rankings and rewards. The Hero Collection system lets you recruit iconic characters like the Lone Wanderer, Vault Boy, and various faction leaders, each with unique abilities and upgrade paths. Combat uses formation-based strategy, where positioning and team composition determine victory, moving beyond the simple resource management of the original game. Regular events and updates add new content, heroes, and game modes to keep the experience fresh for competitive players. Fallout Shelter Online showed how mobile gaming markets could support more complex Fallout experiences while adapting the franchise for different cultural preferences. It proved the series' global appeal extended beyond Western audiences when given appropriate localization and gameplay adjustments. But before what's next, let's have an honorable mention for Fallout 4 VR, Fallout Tactics 2, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel 2, Fallout Online, and Fallout Extreme. If you enjoyed this video and want to see every Fallout protagonist explained, click the video on the screen.